May you have the bestest of time of the year as well. While we're at it, and since I actually spoke about, whether the environment was conducive for Nadi or not, I think this is exactly where I would want this conversation to head. And it's because that we will be speaking about women's rights and child rights as well. And we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by one of the experts who truly had, hands down, happens to be one of those amazing people who've contributed quite a lot. We're very lucky that we've been joined by a legal expert over here, Mr. Sharafat Ali Chaudhary. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm perfect.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Wonderful to hear, to have you over here. And while we are at it, obviously, this year, 2024, marks the 35th year of Pakistan signing the Convention of Child Rights as well. We've had very ambitious people, who actually contributed to the draft making of it as well, and it came into being. It's over here. It's a part of our legislation. But where are we on child rights?
Thank you very much for reminding this very important milestone that it's 35th year of Pakistan's ratifying the Convention on the Rights of the Child. I think we can take from the two perspectives that as far as what Pakistan achieved during last those 35 years. I think we can even talk even before coming into being of this convention, that Pakistan's constitution of 1973, as far as you said, our ambitions are concerned, that our convention is even constitution is of 1973, and there are very specific provisions. Those are related to women and child protection. There are Article 25 that all are equal before the law, but there are sub-article 3 of the 25 that says that nothing stops the state to making special legislations for women and children. I mean that you go one step ahead as far as women and children are concerned. Then there is Article 35 that says that state shall protect women, children and family life. So so as far as the Mard is concerned, you know that this is this is called the affirmative measures.
Okay.
This is called a positive discrimination, and even it's a very much Islamic concept.
It is.
You know that even in Islam there are special rights for special people, for women, for children, for a person, you can say, without parents. So I mean that if you consider a particular segment of society is vulnerable, you need to take additional steps.
Exactly.
That's really
make
beautiful
a level a playing
like
field.
men are there to defend and protect the women and children. So this is really, this is the beauty actually of it.
Alhamdulillah. But while we're at it, sir, let's talk about the constitutional provisions. If you are to speak about child rights first of all, because what I've done is that let's not confuse people with women and child both. So what are the constitutional provisions if you are to speak about child rights?
Interestingly, in Constitution, as I just said, there were two provisions. In both the provisions, women and children are both used together.
Okay, wonderful.
Definitely, the laws to enforce those provisions as far as the legislation is concerned, delegated legislation delegated from the Constitution, I mean those acts and ordinances, those are definitely different, and they are different even the different provinces. But as far as the Constitution is concerned, I think in the whole of Constitution, there are only 3 or 4 times the word children is used. That's very overarching, that empowers the state to make provisions for women and children.
So got the point. Now for all of those provisions that we have, let's come down to how there's unfortunately child abuse. Now how there is, the protection perspective of it is not touched upon, how there are multiple issues, how there's, human smuggling, how there's children out on the streets begging, how there's child labor. There's so many ills within the society that even if you're very passionate about it to be included within the Constitution and be the overarch perspective of it, well, we're not, we do not see any results on the ground of all of that legislation which has taken place.
The child trafficking, child sexual abuse, child labor, child domestic labor, those are, as you said, very persisting, unfortunate issues. Those are existing in a society. So if we take it from the policy perspective, that how state is actually thinking to counter those, being a lawyer, I will take it from the legal perspective. And you know that during last 15, maybe 10, 15 years, Pakistan made a very marked distinction as far as the legislation is concerned. After the 2010 of 18th amendment, the provinces were empowered to legislate as far as women and children are concerned. And as of today, interestingly, all the provinces made child protection legislation.
Okay.
There may be slightly difference in name. For example, in Islamabad, in Federal Territory, it's Islamabad Child Protection Act. In Balochistan, it's a Balochistan Child Protection Act. And in Punjab, the name, and in KP may be slightly different, but they all got almost the similar scheme. The laws are there. The specific courts, special courts are empowered to take on these issues, to hear those cases. It requires a specially trained people, those will, you can say, deal with such kind of issues. But now the next, and even there is a federal legislation, as you hinted upon, the trafficking as well. There is a 2018 special legislation that's applicable throughout Pakistan. In 2016, criminal law has also been amended, Pakistan Penal Code, and specific provisions related to sexual abuse, child pornography, trafficking, all, I mean, cruelty to child, these offenses has been criminalized.
All right.
So this is one step, that there are structures, there are institutions, those are there to stop these ills, to protect the children.
Exactly. Thank you so much for saying that. But, you know, very quickly, because we short on time as well, and we need to speak about, you know, how women are being protected. Now, how do you think, you know, a child would know about all of this and will actually go to somebody who can come see a person like you and be like, you know, this actually happened with my child? Because that's exactly the menace within our own society, that we do not want to report it. Most of the time, it's one of our chachus or mamus or uncle or driver or, you know, people like that who surround those children. How do you think we enable them to use their constitutional right to come and penalize those people?
Actually, that's a very interesting question, because you know that knowing, having legislation, having rights is one thing, knowing those rights is a second thing, and then getting those rights to be enforced is a third perspective. Unfortunately, many of people, I've been, you can say, training. I got an honor to train a lot of judges, prosecutors, lawyers, in the police officials.
A good lawyer always knows the judge, sir.
And sometimes, I mean that it becomes even strange for me to hear that when even the law-knowing people, they do not know. They should know the law, and they do not know. So what to talk about the common people? I think these rights should be included in the curriculum. It should be educated from the very beginning. Those legislations should be talked at the school level.
This is what you're talking about, the kids. If you talk about the women who are at home, who are actually being a victim of domestic violence, at times they are being told that this is a gharelu mamla. So this needs some enlightenment as well, right?
When there is a violence, it's not a gharelu mamla at all. It's not a domestic issue. It's a legal issue. You can say that it requires a certain penalization. All the provinces right now, I can tell you, during short of time, I'm not going into detail, but I can tell you that all the provinces got legislations. Those are, the basic purpose is actually to curb the domestic violence.
Exactly.
So we need to know, interestingly, we need to know those institutions, we need to know those helpline numbers, we need to know the relevant people, and for that, I think a lot of awareness. I will sum up in a way that Pakistan has made a lot of good legislation to protect women and children. Now there's a need to let people know what is that.
Exactly, and that's exactly what our job is, and we certainly, ladies and gentlemen, day in, day out, make sure that we bring you such programs as well. But thank you so much, Sharafat bhai. I'm going to stand up and thank you as well for, you know, sharing all of these insights with us as well, because, and later on, inshallah, in this week or next week, we'll make sure that we have you again to speak about women's rights precisely as well. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. For everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves. Good morning.
Bye-bye. Take care of yourself.
Good day.